I think this will work. A little hard to tell. Hello, my dog. So, welcome back to Lake Michigan Boating with Charlotte. It's a short video on our impressions of the 2005 to whatever year cruisers. Hello, cruisers, yachts, 440. Which is the same as the 4370 and the 460, except for some minor changes, bathrooms and such. I'm probably gonna have to let the one out. In general, we really like this boat. Before I get into that, if you could like and subscribe, or at least like the videos I produce, that it allows more people to see them. Popular videos get more views. I'm not necessarily trying to turn this into a video giant, but it'd be nice if more people got to see these videos, because while I don't do a whole lot of production, like some people do, at least not yet, I'm amazed by how hard it is to do them. So I have a lot more respect for the people who do these on a much more routine basis. So my dog got a toy. So the thing about the cruisers and boats, specifically the 43 or the 440, 4370, 460, they manage to find room where there shouldn't be any. They're really wide feeling, considering they're the same size as every other boat in that class. They don't have as wide of side decks, but you really don't need them because it's got a walk-through windshield. It's got a really nice big, they call it on these boats the bridge deck because it's so high up. It's 2 big steps and I think one more before you get on this. So it's essentially 3 steps up on the from the back lounge area up to the bridge deck, which is nice because then there's a big settee you can sit on. They really did a nice job finding space. The seats are a little narrow to sit on. The seat rates are generous and they go up almost all, depending on how tall you are, of course, but they go all the way out, you know, support your thighs. The cruisers are a little narrow from that era. The 520s were better. Sea Ray did a better job with that, but Sea Ray didn't do a better job in those boats of finding open space. They just didn't. Cruisers beat them on that. I don't know about build quality. I assume they're roughly the same. But downstairs, the salon is massive for this size of boat. They really put a lot of room into that. And the pull out in the starting at downstairs in the forward stateroom, the pull out is phenomenal. It gives you a queen bed. It's high and you have to crawl onto it, but it also gives you a small bed. So if you've got kids or grandkids, there's a lot of extra space there. It also pushes back into roughly a marine size full bed. Then you've got the shower, which is nice, and the bathroom for the day head is nice. It's got a the typical pull shower or pull curtain, but it wraps around so the whole bathroom doesn't get soaking wet, which is nice. It's a little different than how other people do it. Other builders did it. Not a lot different, just a little different. Then you get into the kitchen, the galley, and the salon. Very open. For the size of boat it is, there's a lot of space. We had 6 people down there at one point, adults. And I'm not going to say it's as big as, say, a 520, but it's very roomy, surprisingly roomy. And the headroom, it's 6'6" headroom. So there's plenty of headroom. I think it's 6'6". And then The master in this boat has the walk around Marine Queen. It's not a king or anything, but it's still nice, and it's nice to be able to get around around the bed. And then it's of course got it's got a washer dryer combo unit and hanging locker and the separate head and shower, which is nice. How they did it is a little bit dated, but it works just fine. The shower's a little on the small side. I'm not tall, but I'm big, the wrong kind of big. I'm 5'9" and 200 pounds, so it's a little tough to get in and out of there, but it's not bad. The problem is shutting the door on the shower. I had seen a lot of people had taken shower doors out on these boats. A lot of the boats don't have shower doors, and now I know why. It's a little snug. They try to create a bench. They had this much space, and and they try to create a bench to sit on, and it took away from your foot space, so it's a little on the snug side. If you were staying on the boat a lot, say if we want to take it to the Bahamas, if we were in the Bahamas with it, honestly, I'd probably shower in the forward bath. And that's fine, it's no big deal. It's us, so who cares? My wife and I, who really cares? But having the separate head's nice. That way one person can get ready while the other uses the head. It's really a decent setup. I don't know that I would call it glamorous compared to some of the new boats. For instance, the 48 Cantius has a better setup back there. They fixed the problems with it. But it's a newer boat, a lot more expensive. Our boat had a lot of problems, was kind of neglected in the last year or so, maybe longer. Last 2 years by the owner. So it had some problems with being neglected. Maintenance, they did the maintenance. That's about it. They really didn't clean it. The dogs were running around being silly. The puppy. They didn't really clean it. The downstairs was filthy. And I'm not knocking the people who owned it. They were very nice people. And if I've cut my head off, I apologize. I'm not redoing this. Very nice people. Their own house was stunningly beautiful. It was perfectly clean. So I think they just ran out of gas. They were 10, 15 years older than I am, maybe more. I think they kind of ran out of gas on taking care of the boat, and they kind of gave up on it. It was their house was on a channel, but it was up a ways, and the channel was very shallow. We took it out on a king tide, and yes, I see you. And on the king tide, we found one spot. We still managed to brush the propellers in about that deep. It took off all the gunk and stuff. So they probably struggled getting in and out. I know they left it at Burnt Shore Marina fairly often. Sorry. So I think they probably struggled with that. It took some damage, I think, in a hurricane. I think they got it down there and immediately had a hurricane hit it. So it's got some stress cracks and things like that. It bounced off some stuff and damaged the rub rail, which had already been taken off and put back on at some point and done badly. There's a video on that below. Please watch that. They went 2 and 3 feet. There's green tape. When the guy took it off, everywhere there was a screw into the fiberglass. I almost said drywall. He put a piece of green tape with a marking on a number. And there were spots on it that were 2, 3, 4 foot without a screw. So it was bad. Fortunately, it didn't get up and into the hull joint. That was good and dry, surprisingly. But in the end, that was a Pier 1000 did that, and it took them quite a long time. It was a lot of work. It was expensive, but it was worth every penny because now it's right. It's done right. It's sealed properly, the way a gunnel line should be sealed. I'm really happy with the work Pier 1000 did. Amazing, amazing work. Everything they've done, which they've only done a few things for me so far, everything that I've done on this boat, except for the upholstery, the propellers, and the rub rail, I've done myself so far. But the jobs that I've had done have been done really well The vinyl was done well. I'll put a description who that was. It was Creative Vinyl in Mishawaka, Indiana. Contact guy is Rich. If you want almost factory-like vinyl, they're the guys, because they do factory vinyl for some of the boat manufacturers in the area, which would be Elkhart, that area. There are some pontoon manufacturers and other boats. Holland Propeller, which is now in the ME-YR building up in Holland. They did phenomenal work. I couldn't believe how much better they were. They have the scanner that they can look at the propellers and roll it and whatnot. When they were done, it was phenomenal, like brand new propellers. The entire thing was like a brand new propeller. They'd been repaired, damaged and repaired apparently fairly badly, because they were also flattened out, and he said that's probably from going through the sand in Florida, going in and out of the channel. He said it also could have been from bad yearly maintenance, or however often they had the propellers tuned. He said, you know, if you're just pounding it over a block, it's not good enough anymore. So they came out, they had a slight vibration. One of them had a pretty good vibration. The other one had a slight vibration. When they were done, silky smooth all the way up to, I think the highest I had it was 2250 or 2300 RPMs. And we only did that twice. One for a fairly extended period, just to see how it ran. Most of the time we backed it down a little bit to more of a cruising speed. And the other time was first time we took it out. So you know, I've been very happy with the work I've gotten done. The work I've done, I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be a professional. In fact, the fiberglass dashboard and paint work in the videos down below they were the first time I've ever done anything like it. And it was intimidating and daunting and absolutely worth it. Eventually I'm going to have it repaired by a professional, have it all stripped down and done right. I thought if I could get 2-3 years out of it before it looked bad again, I'd be happy. I suspect I'll get more than that because of the products that I used. It was expensive. Everything on a boat is expensive. But I used all grip, excuse me. I was going to use another brand. I won't say it because I didn't use it. I was impressed with how easy it was, how helpful the all grip people were when I called them with a couple questions. Very good experience in doing it. The sanding was a lot more sanding than I was prepared for. But preparation, the devil's in the details, they say, and the preparation was absolutely vital. And so I spent a lot of time on prep. It's amazing how quickly the painting went. I was done in a couple days. But it was months of prepping the dashboard and fixing cracks and sanding that and learning not to do too much fairing filler, and not too much of the structural resin repair stuff. And that's like trying to get stone out of the dashboard. And so there's a huge learning curve because I had to learn it all. But it was worth every moment of it. It was one of those moments that I'm greatly satisfied with the result. Is it professional? No. It doesn't look like a professional did it. It looks like a regular Joe did it. But it's better than that. I used a pre-valve sprayer. After I sanded down and cleaned with the acetone and then sanded some more and cleaned some more. The pre-valve sprayer with just a little air thing you screw on, you pour the paint in the glass piece, and you screw it onto the bottom of the compression sprayer. That took some getting used to, and I filled it too full so it overflowed, which you see that in the video down below. So it took some getting, which I got to sand more, and then I got to clean more, and then sand some more, and clean a little more again. But the pre-valve sprayer is really neat. Take some time, get something to practice on, because it isn't like a spray can. It is more difficult. I would say the thinner you can make it, the better. I thinned it using All Grips thinners, specific for the paint I used an epoxy paint. And then I went, the people that I talked to on the phone, the helpline, suggested I go a little thinner. He goes by as much as 5% more. So I went 3% more. And with that sprayer, it worked fabulously well. They said with that air sprayer, you may want to go thinner as much as 5%. That's why I went 3%. That was exactly the right amount. It was 10% or whatever the mixture was. I don't remember now. It's on their site. You can get it. Also, the Preval site has it. But go by, go contact All Grip and talk with them about it. And I also contact Preval and talk with them a little. So between the two, I was able to get a really nice mixture. It was about like water, honestly. And it came out pretty well. It's, again, not professional. It's not perfectly smooth. There are a few little pits and no fish eyes. I was very impressed with that. I was very impressed with myself. I had no fish eye. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Feeling happy with myself. It came out really well. Then when we took it out in the water, to give you a little idea of how it handles, the first time we went out, it was my wife and myself and 2 kids. We didn't take anyone with us. I had never driven the boat myself. In Florida, I had to hire a captain because that's what the insurance wanted, because Florida's dangerous. I was on it for 5 hours. When we went on the initial survey, it was an hour long or half an hour long. But when we moved it from the man's house to the marina for shipping, it was, I say 5 hours, it was actually more like 6 hours. But we had to go up the miserable mile in Cape Coral, and it's miserable. It was 94 degrees and 100% humidity. And we were going idle speed. It was miserable. It's aptly named. Different world for boating. Very, very different from Lake Michigan. Fun. We had dolphins on our tail, jump in our wake. At one point, not at the miserable mile, but we were running about 15 miles an hour. Not up on plane, just kind of pushing water. And they were riding our wake. It was a lot of fun. There was a whole pod. They were there for over an hour, and it was really neat. I'd never seen that before. But the boat, when we went out on Lake Michigan, we only went out about, a mile. We didn't go very far. We had it up on plane and ran for a little while, and 2 to 4 foot rollers. When we were at idle, we had some that were at least 7 or 8, probably taller, because we climbed for quite a long time and then slammed down dove down the other side, like this, 2 or 3 of them, and then it was back to the normal. And when we were going across just the 2 to 4s, couldn't even tell. It was amazing. I've never been on a boat like that, a boat ride like that, where I was driving. If you're in that size of rollers with our old boat, you didn't go out. So I was very impressed. And the next time, we don't have chain rode in the boat. We just have the standard 15 foot and then 200 feet of rope for anchor line. And so we're going to have to change that out because it bobs like this. The day we took it, I think it was Labor Day weekend. We had some guests, my dad and his wife, and some other people, I can't remember who all. And there were quite a lot of boats out. So the channel, which in Michigan, like in Florida, you can go out, as long as you're not at a bridge, you can go. In Michigan, you've got to idle out. And the channel was rough, and we kind of, did that, and it wasn't a lot of fun. So I ended up going to power. I don't remember how many RPMs, maybe 1,200 RPMs, and that smoothed it out for us. And I think a good heavy chain would have fixed some of that. I was at idle. Maybe I shouldn't have been at idle. Live and learn. It's a learning experience for me. V-drive diesels coming from stern drive gas. It's 10,000 pound boat versus 30,000 pound boat. So it's a learning experience, and I've got a curve that I've got to learn. And but it's a wonderful boat. We're very happy with the purchase. We didn't pay much for it compared to ones that were already in good shape. It was one of those deals where you think, you talk about it, it's not in very good shape, it needs a little of everything, a lot of money. Everything is expensive. And, do you give it another chapter, as they say in some of the movies, or do you let it fall to the wayside? The The captain who we hired said that in the next owner or two, it would, at the end of that, it would probably go to the scrapyard. And there's nothing wrong with it. It just needs love and attention. So that's what we're doing. And it's only been one summer, and the difference is remarkable. So I'm glad we're doing it. I really am. Because we're going to get a wonderful boat out of it that we're going to be able to take to the Bahamas. When we repaint the cockpit, because we're going to repaint it eventually. There's cracks and whatnot that need to be repaired, and the whole outside's going to be repainted. We're going to have the dashboard done by professionals, sanded down and repainted. So eventually it'll look like a new boat, and down below it'll be like a new boat. The engine bay is going to get all redone. We're going to have the engines all gone through. It's got the Volvo TIMD 75P, so the computers are a concern. Down the road they may go out, and they don't make them anymore, so I don't know what we'll do about that. Repower may be an option before we start doing the Bahamas stuff. I don't know. That's a minimum of 5 years, minimum away anyway. So for now, we'll just enjoy it. Yeah, we're really happy with this boat. So my suggestion to you is, if you're considering one of these, but you're just not sure, it's not as big as a 520. It isn't as fancy as, say, a Sea Ray. Sorry, I was checking my dog. I could hear a noise. And with a puppy, you hear a noise, or you don't hear a noise, you better check. I wasn't hearing a noise the other day, didn't check, and she managed to chew the ottoman to my leather chair. So, yeah, always check. But anyway, yeah, if you're considering one of these boats and you're just not sure, do it. If it's in your price and it's everything you want, but maybe it's this or maybe it's that, there are people out there who can change anything about the boat that you want. That's what we're discovering. Like our narrow seats, the upholsterer said that's an easy fix. All the pieces, the pieces are only so long. He said just, get ones that are wider when you redo the seats. What they use is some kind of plastic board. Say hello to Gretchen. Hello, Gretchen. This is Gretchen. She's an adopted dog. Well, they're all adopted, but she came from a shelter. And she spent most of her life in the shelter, so it took her a long time to get her acclimated to people. But yeah, it's a wonderful boat. We're really happy with it. No, you're down. Get down. Do it. It's worth it. You only live once, and you can't take the money with you to the grave. You can pass it on to your kids, and it is expensive, but if you can afford it, do it. And if you can't afford a big one, get a small one. Life on the water is just different. It's worth it. It really is. There's a freedom in pulling away from the dock. Not a freedom in that you can go anywhere, but it's still a freedom. You leave all your cares at the shore. Even if you have to pay, struggle to pay for the gas or whatever, you only putt for the day or something. It's really worth it. Even a rowboat. But if you're looking at a cruiser's 4370 or a 440, whether it's got the 4370 bathroom or the one I've got, they had a round shower in the older one, and then they did the shower curtain in the day head. That's the difference between the two. Or the 460, do it. It's worth it. It's a wonderful boat. We couldn't be happier. And that's it. Like I said before, please like the videos. It helps me. I'm not making any money. I'm not trying to make any money. I'm not monetized. But it gets the videos out and lets people see them. More likes, the more it's out there for people to see. And if you like the videos and look at the videos that I've got and you want to see more of coming up, please subscribe, because there is more to come. And that's it. The terrorists one's going to college after next year. She's a junior, so there'll only be one terrorist for a few years after that. So that's it. Enjoy the day, and I hope your New Year and Christmas were wonderful, and Happy New Year.